Let's go over the different functionalities on the Frequency Hits tab. The first thing I want to bring to your attention is that we are using the Muscle Master template. And we can change this, and it does impact not only the Wave tab and the GNS tab, but also the Frequency Hits tab. And let me show you how that happens. By changing the template, let's try one of our other subscriptions. Let's try Thyroid Essentials. And we have 21 hits in Thyroid Essentials. If we go back to Muscle Master, which is what this evaluation is focused on, we'll see that we have 51 hits. And of course, all these components are different. So just another affirmation that the lens we use, or the template we use, sees the frequency matrix from its unique perspective. Okay, some of the features otherwise shown on this page. This first box does a global search. By typing something in here, let's say we type in toe, it looks in all of these categories and comes up with 2 items. If I use something or a portion of a word, like ABD for example, I have 2 items in the category column that have abdomen, and in the name column I have abductor. So this is a way to look for something specific that might be more pertinent to your complaints or symptoms that started the whole process from the beginning. So this is a global search. These boxes search this column. So if I put in something like foot here, it'll search for anything that has foot, and obviously nothing as far as the muscles have to do with the foot. And it shows this little box down here. I can deactivate that by clicking here, or I can simply clear that filter. And the same goes for any of these others. Let's say I want to find everything that has the lowest low. So I filtered out everything else, and the point that I picked that was the lowest on my Wave tab is 987. And these are the things that are connected to 987 using this template, and this is the list of those things. Another thing you might want to do is maybe you want to reorganize how these columns are looking. Let me show you how that's done. Let's say I want to put the tags, meaning the directionality, or if they're low or high, at the end of the row. So we'll just left click and hold, and it grabs that box, and watch those little arrows. See, it's saying, okay, this is where it's going to go. When I release my mouse, it moves it over. So that's another functionality. There is another column I can add to this. If I left click anywhere in this area, I can go to column chooser, and there is a template column. And if I move that template column over here, let's say, I've got all my columns, so I'm just going to close that. This is the template I'm using. This is the category of that particular hit at 0.25. And these are the 2 things that this represents, this point, using this lens. Now, the reason why it's not out there by default is because it says right here the template I'm using is Muscle Master, so it's kind of redundant. Let's say, therefore, I want to not have that. I can right-click and hide this column, and it puts it back into that little box I was showing you, the column chooser. So that's the option there. So one of the key components when we're looking at this information is to discover what has occurred more than once. Like if we go back to the Wave tab to show you what I mean. We've selected an array of different points on this particular voice file. When we analyze this, or when the portal analyzes it, you might find that 2 of these points actually refer to the same thing. That means if something is anomalous here and here at the same time, it's significant. And there's different things to learn about why it's significant and what kind of significance it has. So one of the objectives you'll find yourself doing as you progress in your studies as a provider is that you want to find things that happen more than once. So we can look for this and then see if it shows up again, and oh my gosh, there's another page, and oh, okay, well, it's kind of confusing. So let's find a way to kind of simplify this process. The first thing is we have 51 things on our list, and our page size is set to 20 things per page. Well, how about if we click on this and then set this to 200, the largest. Now everything is on one page. I can just scroll through my entire 51 things. There are some templates that will show a lot more than 51 things. So that's really useful to be able to go like that. And so we can kind of look through here and see if we have pectinate. Okay, I'll tell you what, there's another solution that makes that even easier. Let's sort this column alphabetically. If I right click here, I can sort by ascending or descending. Or I can just click it and it'll initially sort by ascending. If I click it again, it'll sort by descending. Now we can see things that occur more than once a lot more easily. Like here, latissimus dorsi is a low and it's 0.427, and again it shows up as 0.1708 and it's a high. So this is significant. This is something that is showing an anomaly than something that only occurs once. And we'll find that there are quite a few things. This orbicularis oculi is the lowest low, that 987, and it's also 0.2010, and it's a low. So this is something significant. And we'll find as we keep scrolling along, oh, look at here, we've got quadrate muscle of loins is a high at 373, quadrate muscle of loins is a low at 719, and again 732, it shows up again as a high. So that means this is occurring 3 times. So these are more significant than things that just occur once. And we want to say, gosh, we've got these 24 points, and now we can say, let's just not look so closely at the things that occur once, but let's just look at the things that occur more than once. And so by sorting the name column, it allows us that ability to see them a lot more quickly. If you're like me, there's a lot of these items that I really do not know what they are, like epicranius. And if I click on these hyperlinks, it opens a new tab on my browser. I can go to that tab and it shows me what that is, where it is, and more information about it. It also selects it so that I can use this for approaches that I would use as a technician. So we can go down our way here and see some other things, like this latissimus dorsi, which occurred twice, is interesting. What is it? Let's find out. Click on it. It takes us to another tab where it explains where that muscle is in our anatomy and some of the functions about it. So we have this way to learn more about some of this information that might be beyond our skills and training, and become quite familiar with that information. So if I want to look at, let's say, things that are just my lowest low, I can go into this, click on this down arrow, and these are the options, and lowest low is one of them. And now what I've done is I've selected this point, 987, and so what we can do is click on these items that are part of the lowest low and learn more about them. Orbicularis oculi, it's part of the eye. Interesting. So we can use this powerful functionality, this hyperlink, to help us learn more about what these anomalies represent in our voice or in our client's voice.